One day in 1943, the USS Eldridge was parked at the Philadelphia shipyard. There were only a few workers on this ship. Of course, what happened to this ship after that is very amazing. When the USS Eldridge was docked at the Philadelphia dock, there was another cargo ship docked a little further away. There were also workers on this cargo ship. They were looking at the USS Eldridge. So while watching in this way, they were able to see that this Eldridge ship suddenly starts to glow blue. At that time, this ship also left the radar screen. At that time, the employees who were on this cargo ship could see that the USS Eldridge ship was gradually becoming transparent. Similarly, the transparency of it started to increase little by little. So because this was a very surprising incident, a sailor from this cargo ship got off the ship and went to the USS Eldridge and tried to capture it. After that, a big electric shock hit him. So in this way, the USS Eldridge ship became transparent glowing blue, and then disappeared completely. According to the information reported after that, when one of the sailors who was on the USS Eldridge opened his eyes, he was not at the Philadelphia shipyard, but instead, the ship was at the Norfolk dock in Virginia. Norfolk shipyard is about 500 kilometers away from Philadelphia shipyard. So this sailor has not even been able to imagine how this ship traveled 500 kilometers in such a short period of time. However, the USS Eldridge did not remain in the Norfolk docks. One was there for a while and then disappeared from there and reappeared at the Philadelphia shipyard. So after listening to this story, you all must be wondering how mysterious this is. But this is not the end of the mysterious events that happened to the USS Eldridge ship. When the ship USS Eldridge disappeared from the Philadelphia shipyard and reappeared there, the people there were able to confirm that two sailors who were on the ship USS Eldridge were completely missing. Not only that, they have been able to see another surprising thing, that some of the sailors who were on the USS Eldridge are stuck on the metal plate of the ship. It's like this metal frame melted and this sailor was trapped inside it. Yet the sailors who survived all these things have later become fanatics. Similarly, other sailors have sometimes fallen into a coma. So after listening to this story, you must have thought about many things. Also, I know many of you have thought that this is some kind of teleportation experiment. So if this is such a teleportation experiment, what kind of technology has been used for it? You may have heard about quantum entanglement by now. So, by using this quantum entanglement, we can exchange information to the two most distant places in the universe, exceeding the speed of space. Similarly, we can make a quantum teleportation device by using quantum entanglement. So, to do this work, we first need a scanner. This scanner should be able to accurately measure the quantum states of the object we want to transport. After that, we can exchange this information from one place to another through entanglement particles. So in this way, after sending all the quantum information of an object from one place to another place, we can recreate this object in that place. After doing that, we can completely destroy the original object. So, after hearing all these details, you may be thinking that in this quantum teleportation, we do not transpose the original object. What we do is to send all the information of the original object to another place, and create an object of its own there. After that, the original object is destroyed. Even now, scientists have realized that we can use this quantum entanglement practically, and we can use it to create a communication network. However, this USS Eldridge is a very large ship. Even with today's technology, collecting all the quantum information on such a large ship is unthinkable. So what happened here? So, according to some sources of information regarding this incident, when the USS Eldridge was facing this incident, a very special person was watching from another ship in this Philadelphia shipyard. That special person is the Albert Einstein we all know. You all have heard about the Einstein-Rosen bridge, or about a wormhole. We live in a multidimensional universe, but we can see only 3 dimensions in this universe. That means length, width and depth only. This Einstein-Rosen bridge or wormhole is a short path through multidimensional space that connects 2 places in 3D space. For example, imagine a worm in an apple. This worm can crawl to the top of this apple. In fact, if this worm decides, instead of crawling, to eat this apple, make a hole and go to the other side, so that the worm can quickly get to the other side of the apple by a shortcut. So this is how an Einstein-Rosen bridge or wormhole works. What happens, in this case, is that 2 places in the 3-dimensional space are connected by a short path through the multidimensional space. At the same time, after listening to this story, you can understand why an Einstein-Rosen bridge is called a wormhole. So maybe you think that in 1943, these people tried to transport the ship USS Eldridge by making an artificial wormhole for 500 kilometers. But it takes a lot of energy to build and maintain a wormhole like this. We cannot do such a thing even using today's technology. So you have heard about Area 51. For decades, people believed that Area 51 was a landing place for aliens. But several years ago, the US government released some files about Area 51 so that the public could see them. Then, after reading these files, we were able to find out that Area 51 is a place used by the US to spy on Russia during the Cold War after the Second World War. In the same way, we were able to find some information about the Philadelphia shipyard from several files that were released for people to see. It says that this Philadelphia shipyard was used for the Manhattan Project during World War II. You all know that America dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan during World War II. One for Hiroshima and the other for Nagasaki. The project that started making these atomic bombs is called the Manhattan Project. So if you want to know more about this Manhattan Project, comment below. I will try to bring a video about it. So, during the Manhattan disaster, they used the Philadelphia shipyard to energize the uranium they needed. So, in September 1943, a very big accident happened at the Philadelphia shipyard while energizing uranium in this way. Several people have died in that accident. So, by 1943, the Manhattan Project was the most secret project. So, the American government has done enough to stop the release of information about this accident to the media. The mysterious incident on the USS Eldridge ship, or the Philadelphia experiment, takes place in October 1943, and the accident at the Philadelphia shipyard during the Manhattan Project, when uranium is energized, takes place in September 1943. So, because of this fact, many people believe that the Philadelphia experiment is a fabricated story to cover up the accident at the Philadelphia shipyard and divert attention. Our brain always wants to see meaning in everything. If we see some supernatural event, or if we see several events that are not related to each other, then our brain likes to connect all those events and build a story. For example, none of us know exactly how life on Earth was created. So, as soon as we see something like this, our brain can create a story for it. Sometimes stories like this last for thousands of years. They sometimes become people's religions. So, when an event that we don't know the exact details of happened, like the Philadelphia experiment, a lot of stories are created around it. We call these conspiracy theories. So you probably know a lot about this Philadelphia experiment. If you have many ideas, we can discuss them all in the comments section below.